Good morning. This is the first of the video clips which I am referring to as my preliminary comments on each of the theologians that we will be studying in the first half of the course. So today's on Karl Barth. I'll probably make two short video clips to keep them within a few minutes length rather than one long one which may exceed the space that we have. So who was Karl Barth? He lived 1886 and died in 1968. He was a Swiss Protestant theologian who was a major figure in 20th century theology, a leading representative of the so-called dialectical theology of neo-orthodoxy. An early opponent of the Nazis in Germany and a founder of the Confessing Church movement, he was the primary author in 1934 of the Barmen Declaration of Resistance. And in 1935, having refused to take an oath of allegiance to Adolf Hitler, he lost his teaching position at the University of Bonn and was deported. As a young man, Barth was a student of some of the leading liberal theologians of his day, including Adolf von Harnack in Berlin. Their dominant theological position tended to manifest several fundamental characteristics. First, it was a form of natural theology with an anthropological orientation. That is, it identified human experiences of the divine as the ground of all religions, including Christianity. This emphasized the similarity of Christianity with other faiths rather than its radical uniqueness, so continuity the theme. Second, accordingly, following Friedrich Schleiermacher, the divine was primarily to be found in the depths of human subjectivity, at which one finds the creature feeling of absolute dependence upon God. And because all persons have this fundamental experience or fundamental feeling, every person has a common basis for understanding diverse religious commitments and for interpreting their own religious experiences to others. Third, the liberal theology which Barth embraced as a young man recognized that Christianity was only one religion among many. It was a particular form of the universal religious sentiment. Therefore, in religiously plural context, Christian theologians were necessarily engaged in apologetic attempts to show that their form of this religion was the best and most profound in the world. So far, fourth, Barth's early religious orientation tended to exhibit a form of culture Protestantism. That is, Protestant theologians in the early years of the 20th century often argued that the reason that Christianity was the highest form of religion was because it intrinsically linked these fundamental religious experiences with ethical values that were universally applicable. Historically, it was asserted, Christian cultures progressively lifted up the law of love as the highest form of righteousness. This process of historical sublimation culminated in the accomplishments of German culture, with which the Protestant churches closely identified. Yet with the disasters of World War I, Barth found himself with the problem of distinguishing Christianity from popular culture, with locating a place from which to speak a prophetic and biblical word, a word of yes to human potentiality, but also a firm word of no to human self-deception and sin. So, he said, he turned 180 degrees from the theological approach that he had first learned to what he called the, quote, strange new world of the Bible, unquote, and most especially to the New Testament book of Romans, in order to renew the church's vision and witness in the world. I'll stop here. Go on then to video clip number 2.